Let's get started right away. Clover Health had amazing earnings today, and we also saw this stock rise like a banshee in the after hours. Let's talk about that report right now. Look at this. Look at this real quick. Total revenue was $412 million. Up 140% year over year. People were expecting far less. People were saying, 40%. No, 140% year over year is what we got. That is a result of a good growth stock company that I like to be a part of. Okay. Next, we have lives under Clover management nearly doubled from the first quarter to approximately 129,000, and Clover Assistant on track to manage over $1 billion worth of annualized revenue. So great results, okay? Great results that we're seeing here. And, you look at this and you're kind of like thinking to yourself, okay, right? Here we are at the kind of, at the second quarter of the year. But we just had a really good news. We had more news about expansion, more news about benefits, more news about just great catalysts that can increase the potential of impact that this company has. So when you look at this quarter, you wonder, what is the third quarter going to be like? Because it sounds pretty exciting to see, these results and think about where are we going to go in the future. And, when we scroll down, let me talk about this real quick. So it says second quarter revenue grew 140% year over year due primarily to the launch of direct contracting. Clover is on a $1.6 billion annual revenue run rate based on the second quarter results, said Joe Wagner, Clover Health CFO. We believe our normalized MAMCR, non-GAAP, which adjusts for the pandemic-related impacts, demonstrates stability in this measure year over year, and we continue to see positive results from returning members and those who see Clover Assistant provider. That Clover Assistant, super important to this company. We have machine learning in there. We have AI in there as well. Okay. And so you look at that, you look at the potential for the Clover Assistant to help out people in order to, get them the best diagnosis, take all the information in, be a source of information for all of the people that they visit so that at the end of the day, people are not carrying around like a big binder, with all their information. It's all in one place and they take that information and give the best care that they can for their people. Okay. And so when we scroll down even more, again, we could see that 412.5 million compared to 172.1 million. Awesome revenue increase. And then again, it goes into even more detail, saying that this consisted of 195.4 million in Medicare Advantage premiums and 216.4 million in direct contracting revenue. Just even either one of those being able to compare alone, just beating each one of those independently beat out second quarter from 2020 is just amazing, right? And you see all the FUD that we saw earlier in the year and the reports out there, the Hindenburg reports and stuff like that, and you hear all the FUD from all the certain analysts out there as well, and you're like, come on. Let the company speak for itself. Let the numbers speak for themselves. We know that this is growth stock. We're in amazing $8 range and even went past that in the after hours today. And so, again, seeing that great stuff. But total lives under Clover management at quarter end was approximately 129,000, an increase of 126.3% compared to June 30th, 2020. Medicare Advantage membership and direct contracting lives were 66,566 and 62,025 respectively as of June 30th, 2021. So, the other thing that, I like to point out about this company, and I have in previous videos, is their cash balances, okay? Cash equivalents and investments totaled $630.3 million as of June 30th, 2021. We know that they're not going to dilute their shares. We know that they have enough money to keep this business running because we know that growth stock companies, kind of like Tesla, kind of like Amazon, they spend a lot of money in order to grow as fast as possible, and then they turn that profit when they're done growing, right? When they're done taking up as much of that market, because each single county that Clover Health gets into, it takes up more market share from the other players in that county, okay? And so again, just great information. We see that in the investor presentation as well. And lives under Clover Assistant Management grew 229% year over year to approximately 95,000. So, I'm just flabbergasted, right? When you see stuff like this, you're like, okay, anywhere under $10, anywhere under $10 to me is a buy, right? To me, that's where I think that I am not worried about losing my money in the long run. In the short run, we still have, amazing potential for a gamma squeeze, especially with, big jumps like we saw today in the after hours, okay? And also potentially a short squeeze. That may still be on the table later on, that because it has to immediately follow a gamma squeeze. That's where a short squeeze play could be in effect, right? So that, when you look at, August 20th, when you look at August 20th options, it's just like, okay, can that happen? I think so. I think it can definitely happen. They have other stuff in this as well, and that's of course on their website. But and this actually goes into what I was talking about earlier. Total revenues are expected to be in the range of 1.4 billion to 1.5 billion. Again, just looking at these, just looking at the numbers, just looking at the facts that we see on the table, we are interested to see, what is the third quarter going to be? Are we even going to break more records in the sense, for that quarter as well? Because at the end of the day, we do want to see that hyper growth that this company has for us, okay? But, when you see all this, again, it's a growth stock. It's like Tesla. It's like Amazon. You're going to see a lot of growth. You're going to see revenue increasing all the time for it. So let's see how this goes. But things to consider, though. Things to consider, right? This just became, number one, a massively serious investment, okay? More big players will come in and take advantage of the low price that we're currently seeing. And, I think that right now, this range that we're in, under the $10 range, hopefully it's temporary. I said earlier, I think in my 2 videos ago, that, I think that by the end of the week, we could get into the $13 potentially, right? At least get above $9, which we did in the after hours, but maybe even 10, 11, 12, maybe hitting 13. At that point, you're on a roll. At that point, you're going to get to a squeeze potential, right? The next thing is, if you can, get your average down as soon as possible, right? Be responsible about it, though, okay? I don't want you to be, selling all your stuff and doing that. You got to be responsible about your money, of course, but I would say still get your average down as soon as possible, because we very well could see this stock gap up very, very soon, okay? And as I've been saying previously in my other videos and basically all my videos, this stock is an underdog. In my opinion, this stock is a lucky stock, right? And, at the end of the day, let's see this thing rise. I really want to see it rise, hopefully very, very soon. But let's jump into, the price movement of the day, because that, to me, I think this was probably the biggest increase that we've seen in a very long time, maybe months, okay? So when we opened up today, we opened up at $8.41. And, it looked like a really chill day. It was like, okay, people are going to be spreading FUD about this all day long. You pretty much got to ignore it. Let's see what the earnings report says and go from there. And so, we opened up at $8.41. We dropped down. We hit the intraday low of $8.02. Okay. And it pretty much stabilized. There's just solidifying that range there. But there we go. We ended the day off at $8.13. Okay. But the after hours is where we saw a huge increase. It increased by about 11% in the after hours, going all the way from $8.13 up $1 and more to $9.18 within 15 minutes. When I saw that, I was like, holy cow, okay? When you see something like that, you understand that this could be a very highly manipulated stock, and there's a lot of big players that are trying to push this stock down, and you got to stay there, and you got to stay for the fight. You got to hodl and keep on rolling, just like we've seen with other stocks that have been, in my opinion, manipulated and stuff. AMC, GME, all those different stocks out there. And so, again, huge increase in the after hours. And, we did see a little bit of a pullback, but we did end off at $8.90. Still pretty dang high. Still 77 cents, 9.47% increase in the after hours alone. I just can't see that anywhere else. I just can't. And in the after hours, I think there was like 8 million or something like that in terms of volume in the after hours. The overall volume for the day, though, 33.45, still lower than the average of 53, but still, okay. And this is where I come in to say, hey, tomorrow we do have the pre-market. Webull does have the pre-market. So, if you want to be able to play very early, 1 a.m. Pacific time, if you're still up, 4 a.m. Eastern time, you might be able to get in if you believe that this stock is going to go up for the rest of the day, okay? And so far, so good. But if you want to jump on Webull, I have a link in the description below, and you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300 by signing up and depositing only $5. So check out that link below. And let me show you this real quick on my phone. We can actually see. Of course, we have the stock there, but you get extra stuff here. If you go to the analysis area, you can actually see of course, the analyst price target. We're under that analyst price target of $10 estimate, $9 to $10 range, okay? But again, you can see positions cost distribution. When you look at this, right now we're at $8 to $9 area, okay? Again, way under kind of that average, $18. Okay, there's a lot of people that are hodling, a lot of people that have a great amount of potential to average down on their stock. So I definitely encourage that, because hey, you can get more, in my opinion, you can get more bang for your buck by doing so. But of course, you have the time in sales and a lot more order distribution. And let's take a look at this real quick for the order flow distribution. We did see a lot of large scale orders today. We did see an outflow of 5,798,000. Yesterday we saw more inflow by 1.78 million, and of course the previous day is 0.000. So right now we're in the heat of the movement of the flow, okay, where we have shares going in and out, very large shares. But of course that does not stack up when you look at the dark pools, okay. And when you look at the dark pool, it's 10.572 million. And of course, you have the New York Stock Exchange, 29.13%, which is still lower than the dark pool. We got the NASDAQ, a little bit lower as well. And again, there's still, the hedge funds, the public pensions funds and stuff like that, they're all trading in the dark pool and moving those shares around. And we're only seeing a little glimpse of it. When we look at the large scale orders on Webull, we only see a little glimpse of the entire picture that's shown here, okay? So that's definitely something to keep in mind, okay? And then when we look at the dark pool data here on StockGrid, we can actually see that it's negative 540,000 for the volume. The position here is negative 58,384,000. So still, still in that negative range, still in kind of a bearish idea for that dark pool data, but hopefully we can see some crazy movement, because when we see it going up and stuff like that here and flip, this is where we had that $28 height back in early June. We see that flip from positive to negative right there. And so it's kind of like, okay, when are we going to see that? Because right now we're going a little bit into that positive range right here. So hopefully soon, right? Hopefully we have something kind of like here, as I mentioned, where we go a little bit up, and then it flips right into the negative range. And so we'll see how that pans out going forward. Next, though, we're going to go look at the option. We're going to look at the option calls, okay? for the week, it's kind of funny because in the after hours, there's not movement. But when you see the volatility in the after hours from today, you can actually see, of course, these would be heavily impacted. And I bet in the morning when it opens, these are going to change drastically. And the amount of open interest, the amount of volume, is going to be pretty good, pretty solid stuff. And I think that we're going to be well above that maximum pain of $8.50 for a week. And I think that we'll pass by that on Thursday. Of course, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a financial advisor, as you know, but that just seems like based on the trend and based off the hype that we have, and especially the FOMO with going up 11% in 15 minutes. People are saying, hey, I'm going to get in. I'm going to get in at 4 a.m. I'm going to get in at 5 a.m., get in the pre-market, even 30 or 40 minutes before the market opens at 9:30. I'm just going to get in and get what I need to get, because at the end of the day, hey, we still have a lot of open interest for these higher ranges, and we even more so, we're getting into the 1,000 range for open interest for even the higher numbers. So people are really saying, hey, I think by Friday we might get to $16, and that's basically double. That's basically double where we're at right now, and that would be really, really cool to see. But next, we're going to go into Ortex, and if you like this video so far, please smash that like button for me. It really does help. Also, subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notifications on my upcoming videos. In Ortex, we can see that the current short interest percentage of the free float is sitting at 21.03%. The cost to borrow average is at 1.58%. The cost to borrow max is at 3.56%. Again, still very close for those two. For the short interest percentage of the free float, we're still in that 21% range. And that has been, if you look at it, we've actually been in that range for a while. And I think that's as of July 19th, we've been in that 21% range for the short interest percentage of free float, hitting 22 at one point in time, but still pretty stable at that level. So that is actually good to see for that. And then when we look at the days to cover, we're at 0.75 days, and we have the utilization rate sitting at 91.89%, still in that 90% range. So still really good to see that as well. When we look at the short squeeze score, we can actually see that it's 56.03, a little bit of a decrease from the previous day. And when we look at the short shares availability, right now it's 1 million. Earlier in the day, it was 200,000. So people are saying, yeah, I don't want to short this as much, and they're just returning those. But again, that stuff, they can play around with that stuff a little bit because they know that we look at these numbers and stuff throughout the day. But when you look at the short borrow fee rates, we can actually see that it's 0.8%. So a little bit of an increase from the 0.72 range that we saw the previous day as well. And so, when you look at this, it's okay, we're still about the same from the previous days, but the numbers may change drastically tomorrow, especially when we see that run up in the after hours that we saw today. Okay. In Ape Wisdom, I think this is a little bit delayed because, Clover Health is still sitting at number 4 on this list, still sitting at number 4. And when you go into it, though, you can see that it says earnings up like after calls, Moon, MVST holding, right, check, back, Dawn, A. Buy, thread, and squeeze. And so again, really good sentiment, 69% for the overall sentiment. So really good to see that on Ape Wisdom. When we go into the subreddit, of course, 40.7 thousand members, okay? 40.7 thousand. I think that we'll see an uptick and people tomorrow joining this great subreddit that we have here, and check out the Discord as well. And so, overall, I'm very happy. About the movements of the stock, and I'm excited to see what Thursday has in store for us, because at the end of the day, it's one day at a time, and each day there's always some good news. There's always some good catalyst, it seems, that can help this stock move up, that really solidifies that fundamentally this is a great growth stock. And when you think about it, we knew that August would be crazy, and because we look at options sonar, we can see that August 20th there was a lot of bullish sentiment on August 20th for the options and stuff. And so hey, I think that August will hopefully be our month. But if it is not, right, if we pass by August and we don't see anything big happen, I'm, again, still not worried. This company still has a lot of potential and is still a great long-term stock to hold as well. So overall, I'm really happy that I am an investor for this company. I'm really happy as well about what the company is doing. So yeah, if you want me to talk about anything in general for future videos, please let me know. And as always, hope you have a great trading day tomorrow. You lucky people. Take care. Bye-bye.